Today we're here in the Brothers Collection, and we get a lot of questions from people about the type of cars they have here on display. Some are original, some are restored, some are original paint, some have been repainted. So today I thought it'd be fun to grab Tim Graves. And Tim, you work here in the collection.
Correct.
And you've got an interesting tool in your hand to help learn about the paint on some of the cars.
Yes, this is a digital paint gauge, and it measures the thickness of the paint on the cars.
Okay, so behind you is a Camaro, and this is a pretty low-mile car, right?
Yes, it is. It's a 70Z28, and it's got 22,000 miles on it.
And it's our understanding that this is an all-original paint car.
Correct.
So what does the tool show us on this thing? How's it work?
Well, this Hugger Orange Beauty says 1.6 mils.
Okay, and a mil is a thickness measurement that is a very thin unit of measure.
Correct.
And it's my understanding that when these cars were new, you had your sheet metal, and then you had a thin layer of primer, and then
Correct.
just a thin layer of paint.
Yes, they either dipped or sprayed the car. Correct.
Okay, and of course, being a major manufacturer, they probably tried to get as little paint as possible to save that penny per car.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're showing, what was that again?
1.6.
And that was taken on the fender or on the hood?
On the fender.
So I guess for fun, why don't we look at a couple different spots?
Sure.
And see what we see.
We'll go over to a black stripe. That'll be a little bit thicker. That's a 3.3.
That's almost exactly double the thickness.
Correct.
So that would tell us that the orange was applied and the black was probably applied in the same fashion?
Correct.
What about maybe towards the front more?
You can go on the inner fender. 2.5.
2.5, so we have more paint up on the front.
Correct.
And maybe that was because it was lower and the paint flowed down?
It certainly could be.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a nice gauge of the thickness of an original car. This one, this Fairlane, it's our understanding that it might have had some paint work in the front. So maybe take a stab at that thing and see what we got.
So here on the fender, we have 6.5.
6.5 up there.
Quite a bit more.
Yeah, yeah, and the story that I had heard is that this car wasn't wrecked or anything, but it had some chips on it, so they repainted.
Some minor repair on the front, yeah. Correct.
But the rest of the car is all original paint, and this tool definitely confirms that. We can see on the quarter panel some readings in the 1.0 range and on the sail panel, so it's really only the front that's had a little bit of paint work. What about the range that you've seen on some of the other cars? I mean, these are both, you know, a stock style, you know, original and a repair job.
Correct.
But some cars get a lot of block work, a lot of body filler to make them look super, super straight. I mean, what can you be seeing
Some
there?
of those are up into the 14 range and higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think sometimes a lot higher.
Yes, yes.
So I also think that, you know, being in the business, I know that most painters aren't keeping a thickness range in mind when they're painting the car. They're trying to make them look nice.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting tool. When it comes to some of the other things that you do here, you're pretty hands-on with some of the maintenance and upkeep?
Mostly a little conservation work, yeah, detail work, things like that, and then a little research on the vehicles depending on what they need to know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And sharp eyes will notice that Tim oftentimes gets behind the wheel when we shoot muscle cars.
I get to wheel them around a little bit, yeah. That's the bonus, yeah, of working here, for sure.
Yeah. Well, he drove this one in, and you mentioned you're a little bit nervous.
Yes, yeah, I am. At times you can be, because they're very nice vehicles and they're worth, you know, quite a bit of money, so, yeah.
Well, right on. Well, Tim, thanks for showing us the paint thickness gauge.
My pleasure.
Just a fun little tech segment. We get requests from people all the time for some of the behind-the-scenes stuff here at the Brothers Collection. If you want to see more, you can leave us a note in the comments, and we'll see if we can shoot some more. Tim, thanks again.
You bet.
I'm Kevin Oosty here in the Brothers Collection for Muscle Car of the Week.